Denton's in the other room. So in this video I'm armed with an HX Stomp and a Helix, and I just wanted to show you some things because I'm super inspired by whatever's happening here. So right, here we go. That's not supposed to blow your ears off. Right, give me a second. Right, let's see. a mixture of everything is good, Gasman. So, just by the way, I found a new little toy on the Helix, so I wanted to share that with you. For me, that's super fun. Right, so I've been asked, do I like kind of diatonic scale shaped 3 notes per string? So I think it's worth knowing sort of both. So you have that kind of thing. But I think it's also worth knowing the kind of more uneven kind of thing. Certainly for some of the jazz stuff, I think you'd want to know these shapes that are less stretchy, and because sometimes you want, I don't know exactly why or whatever, I just think it's worth knowing more than one type of thing. So yeah, there was a good Tim Lurch video on this the other day, but like it can't hurt to know more things than not, if that makes sense. Feel free to ask questions about anything else. Probably do a short one today. It's a bit of an impromptu one. Someone tell Jason that we're live. So yeah, that's... I use a Boss EV5, is it? Again, it's kind of both, but 3 note per string is probably definitely where I started with legato. For the legato thing, it makes sense to kind of have as much on one string as possible. I think that's why people go for sometimes the 4 note per string thing even. Gasman asks, do I record anything only amp direct to mic? Yes. So if I do that, basically I would be, the reason it's low compared is because Lenny's embroidering in the next room. Hey Isaiah, so yeah, if I'm miking a real amp, I found what works really well for me personally and for what I'm going for is to use a condenser mic and put it kind of directly over the cone, which I know sounds a bit weird, but for me what this is doing is it captures basically what I think the amp is sounding like in the room to me, and it doesn't have some of the crazy EQ that, you know, doing kind of off-cone miking sometimes does, or using a dynamic microphone. Something like an SM57 I think has a bit of an EQ bump around 5 or 6 kilohertz, and so for me that's kind of where some of that fizzy stuff lives, whereas the condenser I think is a little bit more of a flat response. So that's what I found worked for me better than anything else. Sometimes using an SM7B I've had sort of hit and miss things happening. You know, sometimes things sound very different to what you thought they might, whereas with the condenser it's been fairly consistent. Here's a paintbrush to try and get it back into focus. And we're in focus, good. Any other questions, feel free to chime in. It's not focusing now. Focus on my hand. How do I get it to focus? It's a bit better. Cool. If you've got any questions, anyone, to jump in. I'm just going to hang around for a little bit. So Gasman asks about the Larry Carlton series. So in case it's not obvious, I'm not paid to do almost anything on my channel. So I buy most of the gear that you see with my own money. And so I have a Sire, what's it called? The bass, the Marcus Miller bass. And I bought that because I had some bass gigs to do. And so I also bought I saw kind of the Andertons videos and some of the hype around it, and I thought, okay, that'd be interesting. I know that they make good basses, let's see if they make good guitars. So I bought the white Larry Carlton Strat type and was super impressed with it. Certainly didn't have anything really negative to say about it. Well, that seems like that's gone way off. Hey Keith, listen to this. Check this out. So this is something that might interest you. This is just Helix. this showing properly on the actual screen? Because I think my thing's looking a bit weird. So anyway, yeah, I bought that Larry Carlton thing, and then I liked it so much that I bought the other one as well, the Les Paul style. Keith, I've just done a video on it, and I'll send that over to you. I've only had one person, so obviously a few people talk to me about the Sire stuff because I've done videos on them. I've only had one person who said they didn't like theirs, and I think they sent theirs back because there was a few kind of issues, and so they returned it and then got another one, and I think they liked the other one that they got, so that's good news. Keith explains here so yeah, that's what I was doing, Keith, but it's something that's possible on the Stomp as well. So I put together this loop at the very start of the what should I call it? So it's really cool. Yeah, you can definitely do it with Helix Native. It's actually in my folder already, Keith, if you want to check it out. But basically you cycle through the snapshots to get the different chords. I've just added one extra chord here, like this G sus. How come you're not taking ethos from me as well? I could have some ethos. Yeah, hey there TCM. If you haven't already liked the video, I think you could, and that would help some other people find it one day, but you don't have to. So yeah, that's what I'm playing with today, and I'm really enjoying. Brandon, I think that's what I'm going to be doing on Thursday probably. Keith, should we, if you want to chat with me sometime, let's hook up on Zoom at some point. It'd be good to catch up again, and I can talk you through what's going on with this. But basically you can play it like a 3-note keyboard in a way. It's a little bit of legwork to set up, but you know how the Helix UI is, it's pretty intuitive. So I don't know, this is my first day with it and I'm kind of having loads of fun. also do this. No. Stuff here. If I clear that block, then I can probably put an Asheville pattern on here. Probably. A bell-like tone. Not sure how I would do that. Shall I actually play some notes? Hey Camp, thanks for doing that job, that's God's work. Loads of fun. So, awesome, Jason. Cool. I think it's also quite a nice way to practice maybe like triad things and stuff. Yeah, the UA pedals, without being too negative, I mean, is there anything there that a Strymon, Big Sky or whatever wouldn't do? Sorry, I just had a shower and now I look like I'm going incredibly bold. Is my question, is there anything there that... I mean, I'm looking at potentially getting a Big Sky at some point. But I can't say that those UA devices are making me consider getting that over a Big Sky, to be honest. Yeah, TCM's got a good point. The reverb into the front of the amp. I guess you could maybe stick it in the loop, maybe, but yeah. When me and Jake were talking about what Universal Audio might be cooking up, and we were quite excited at the prospect of them maybe doing sort of an all-in-one type device, and that would be cool, but that's obviously not what they were doing. But I hear really good things about people, really good things from people who do use Universal Audio stuff, so maybe it will be great. Doesn't your 2-Rock have an effects loop? So maybe this is the kind of thing that I might practice with this. I'm all about that stereo too. It doesn't include any compression because I don't tend to use much compression with my Helix stuff. It includes the amp, the cab. There's quite a lot going on, to be honest. But yeah, that's a dog trying to get in. Right, hold on, I'll get the dog. Sausage. Come on. Empty. Nini? Anyone? No. Dog? Well, I'll leave the door open. How does all this sound with a drummer? What's a drummer these days? What do you mean by how does it sound with a drummer? Yeah, so anyway, that's what that sounds like. So that's pretty cool. I was quite excited by that when I found it earlier on today. And so I wanted to just jump on live and say hello. If you've got any questions about anything, feel free to ask before I close the stream. We'll give it about 5 minutes. See if we talk about anything. At stage volume, well, you get... I've not had the chance to really play too much in a state where I want to with the Helix stuff live on a stage. So generally I've taken a tiny board and I've had to take the PA as well. But I'm looking forward to trying out with the power cab and see what happens with that. I've said for a while, even with the Kemper or whatever, I've found that it's generally always more fun to take a real amp to a gig, but when I'm taking PA as well, I've not really been able to do that, just because there's not space. And if you're using in-ears, I generally think it doesn't really matter what you use, they're not particularly fun for me. So yeah, come on dog. Sausage. Dog. Am I using stereo when I play my gigs? Yes, generally. Here he is. Come on, Nimi. Come here. Come here, boy. Come here. Hold on. I'll grab him. Come here, boy. So here's Nemo. He's trying to get in my ear. Yeah, when I play my gigs I do use stereo. I don't know what the sound man always does with that. Sometimes they do funny things. Why is he nibbling my ear? Yeah, those automatone things are fairly cool, I think. I think it'd be fun to try the Big Sky at some point. Some people are telling me that I should try it. So this is Fenton's son, by the way. He never lets me have a nap. He just attacks my face the whole time. You want to get a Porsche? Interesting. Look, there's 3 people watching. Any questions about anything? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that I need to try on the Helix that I've missed? I'm going to try and do this same kind of vibe on the FM3 because I know that can be done. And I've just been messing around with the HX Stomp. You can also do stuff on that, obviously. Big Sky's like a Fender Strat. In the end, it's the sound you're used to. Well, that's ideal, right? That's the thing. I think it's one of those things like the Timeline, which is kind of quickly become a classic for good reason. I don't know, when should my next live be? I'll leave it up to you guys, because sometimes people show up and sometimes people don't. If you want to like the stream, it will increase the likelihood of me doing this again, I guess. The old hard sell. Yeah, let's just do a tiny bit more of this. California Tweed is a great choice for a main tube amp, I think, especially if you're looking for a single channel thing. Or if you want dual channel, consider consider the Fillmore, because that's quite similar. It's a good question from Alwyn. So he asks, how do you get your Helix to sound like a real amp? So my advice is to do the things that you would do with your real amp. And generally what you wouldn't do with your real amp is put an EQ and a compressor at the very end of the chain. For me, that's something that kind of takes away from the feel of it being like a real amp. Me personally, I put my reverbs and delays after the cab. But yeah, I use high cuts in the whatchamacallits, in the cabs if I'm using a lot of gain. Obviously I can't do that with a real amp, but if I could, I would. So the Fillmore or the California Tweed, I think you'd enjoy a lot. The drive on the Fillmore is amazing, I think. It's just up to you whether you think you need the power scaling options or whether you'd rather have a dual kind of channel amp. That probably varies for a lot of people. Nemo having a little fun. I think there's a few where I do use high cuts. So when I literally tried to recreate my JC kind of lead, Eric lead, I used a high cut for that, definitely. So yeah, I think the answer is that sometimes I use a high cut. Not always. But then I've not really dug into the FM3 in quite the same way that I have with the Helix stuff to know what works for me. And wants to know if I know any Florence and the Machine tunes, yeah. But what key do I need to be doing it in? Wait, it should be here, shouldn't it? It's not even right. What am I doing? Right. I haven't played it for wait, how many ever? try it with this. Keith, you can show Anne that and ask her if she recognises it. If she does recognise it, then okay. Sorry it took me so long to figure out what I was actually going to do, which could sound anything like it. Cheers, Brandon. I'll catch you on Thursday for an FM3 thing. Sorry I didn't put the preset name in there. I do try to put in the description for most videos. What if I can only choose 2 amps, what would they be? You mean real amps? The ones that I have, maybe the Mark III and maybe the California Tweed. I think those are probably 2 solid choices for me. Some more Fleetwood Mac. Songbird, how does it even go? Hold on, let me look at the lyrics. Oh, hold on, it's just come back to me. This camera's probably about to run out, so this will probably be the last thing, probably. Let me try it. Don't be too harsh on me, I haven't done this before. the way, if you ever hear me doing that little slidey thing at the end, that's my tribute to Alan Holdsworth. It's the thing that he did at the end of my favourite Alan Holdsworth song. And since Alan Holdsworth isn't around to do it anymore, I like to do it. It's kind of one of my favourite little things. Yeah, sorry for the camera dying. Thank you everyone for joining in for this little impromptu, whatever this was. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, I think that would probably help me out in some small way. Also, I've asked people if they want to get involved with this kind of Ain't Nobody Got a Gig challenge. And the idea is just to record yourself playing a solo over that tune and tag me. Oh, you're asking in reference to the Helix. In which case the Litigator is definitely one of my top ones. And what else? The Litigator and... if I could only have one, it would be the Litigator for sure. I'll have to get back to you on the other ones. Maybe the Princeton actually, yeah. Those two amps are kind of my go-tos. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and make that little video because just thought that was so fun. Yeah. Songbird's a really cool tune. Eva Cassidy is the tune that I hear in my head playing when I play that song, if you were interested. That's kind of the version that I sort of know, as in I played it before. Actually, so if you're interested to know, Leanna is a singer, my fiance, and we used to do a night where we'd be like a kind of jukebox, it was what we called it, and the idea was that people could kind of call out tunes, and this is something that we do at our gigs, and it just sort of ask for songs and stuff, and we try and play them. Generally it goes okay. Right, anyway, so I'm going to go and eat some food, I think. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, a couple of hopefully interesting videos on the channel today. Thank you to Keith for stopping by. I'll talk you through what I'm doing here at some point, Keith, if you want to. The AC15 into a power cab with the blue setting. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying though. So with the Alnico blue. Great show. Thank you, Keith. Brilliant. We did used to get occasionally people wanting to tip us, and then you feel a bit awkward. But that's kind of what we do at weddings and stuff as well. You know, when we used to play weddings, or when weddings were allowed. Kind of ask for requests from people, and I think it's just got a nice vibe to it. And generally, if you can do the song, you do it too drunk. Thanks, guys, for dropping that in. But also, if you've got ideas for tunes like that you want to hear me try and do, I guess the live stream is the place to do it, because chances are I won't play it close enough to get it demonetized unless it's that Toy Story tune, which unfortunately I worked quite hard on. That's true. Hilarious. Right. Yeah. Jason, if you didn't already know, this guitar has Lola Dirty Blondes. The Butterscotch one has Klein pickups, so I might at some stage switch them out for some Lola Dirty Blondes, because I do have a spare set for just that job. I heard Jason's voice for the first time today, and he has a really soothing kind of southern accent, so that's cool. Good on you, Jason. Right, I'm going to go and do something else now. If you wanted that preset that does those things, then it's going to be in my folder. Alfie Stanley Park. Yeah, you're probably going to have to write that somewhere else other than here. I don't have a Mark 35 at the moment, Hussein, if that is how you say your name. I've got a Mark 525 combo on the way. The Fillmore I bought just out of curiosity and hopefully to make a video at some stage kind of comparing the two. It wasn't it was just an impulse kind of purchase rather than something that I think I'll keep around forever. But I do really like it, and the drive channel is pretty amazing. Sergey, well, thank you for that. You don't have to tip me. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow at this stage. Probably something more with this Helix because it's Aoife O'Donovan. Well, thank you guys for choosing to. You have the Fillmore combo. Yeah, I really like the drive on the Fillmore. And the clean is super similar to the California Tweed. I think it's a pretty awesome app. Yeah, email it to me, yeah. I'll put it on in the car or something when I'm driving to post stuff. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas for stuff that they want me to cover on the channel, then do feel free to kind of jump in with ideas, because it's always fun to hear what people want me to try and do. Yeah, cheers for stopping by. Hey Ruben, you want to go back in the stream and check out what I was doing with the Helix, but look. Sounds like an old pump organ. Yeah, I think that's just, I've got it on the octave, so here's, you can change all the oscillators to be like saw or whatever. Pretty cool though. But yeah, I'll catch you all soon, and I don't understand this top chat, super chat stuff. Confused. So Keith's is yellow and TCM's is yellow, but Sergei's was green. I don't understand why. Go dry my hair, yeah. I'll catch a cold. Right. Thank you everyone for stopping by, and I've probably said that about 17 times now. Catch you in a bit.